Hi everyone, how's it going? Welcome to Fuel Power. Today is Friday the 18th of February 2022 and Storm Eunice is blowing away outside, causing general travel chaos and damage and everything across the UK, which is not a lot of fun, hence why I'm inside the garage, which admittedly is not the warmest place on earth right now, hence the warmish clothing. But there's some stuff we need to talk about, and that is mainly projects. So this week I've had the week off because certain members of my working team have been off with a certain virus that makes you cough quite a lot, which is not brilliant. I have luckily managed to avoid it, but because other people have, it's best for me not to be there. So here I am inside the garage, but that has meant I've got, or have had, quite a lot of time to actually film videos this week, which honestly I don't usually get a lot of time these days because obviously with being busy out and about and with the caravan project here, there and everywhere at the minute, it's in several different places. So yeah, having the week off has provided a good opportunity to carry on with those projects and do some smaller things which I've needed to do for quite some time. But to put it lightly, done some smaller jobs to the Mini and also some smaller things to the Fiat. The Fiat is currently undergoing quite a bit of work outside, which I started yesterday, but due to the weather, I don't think I'm going to continue with today, so that'll probably be tomorrow's challenge. And obviously the caravan is a constantly ongoing project, so that'll be updated in due course with videos coming up on the channel very soon about that. But there is one project that we need to talk about, and that is Project Renovation. Yes, this video was always going to happen at some point regarding it because there are some choices to make about it. But first, just a little bit of backstory for those who aren't necessarily in the know about it. We picked up the caravan in January. Everything went well up until about 10 minutes away from our overnight stop when the rear suspension decided not to be very good anymore, in which I mean the rear torsion bar failed, leaving it basically on its rear shock absorbers, which is obviously not ideal for suspension at the minute. So the thing with torsion bar is you could replace the actual torsion springy bit itself, but factually it's a lot easier to replace the whole rear beam on it or rear axle. Sourcing one is not actually massively difficult. I thought it would be a lot more difficult than actually trying to find one is, but I've had quite a lot of help from the YouTube community, so thank you to all those people who have helped out with advice and finding parts for it, which has been incredibly helpful. You know who you are, so thank you to you. There's a lot of people to mention. We'll be here all day, and I'm trying to keep this video somewhat short and sweet because there's not a huge amount really to say on it. But a few weeks ago I put up a, I guess, poll in a way, even though it wasn't directly a poll. It was more of a, I need advice or opinions, what should I do with it? So to put it this way, a Renault Mégane saloon is not worth a lot of money. It's not worth financially fixing things, but as a lot of you may already realise, I have quite a lot of emotional attachment to that car. It's been around in my family for 24 years now, which is an incredibly long time, and it was my first car. It was the car I obviously got freedom and drove, and that was about 8 years ago, so it's been around a long time, to say the least. Many happy memories in that car, many sad memories as well, but overall it's an experience I didn't really want to lose, to be honest. But trying to decide what to do with it is massively head over heart type thing, or heart over head, depending on which way you look at it. And financially not worth it, but is it worth it to me to keep? Well, that was for me to decide. Anyway, back to it. Put up on Twitter, what should I do? And I gave 3 options. One was to put it into storage until I figure out what I actually need or want to do with it. Option 2 was to try and sell it, even though it's very unlikely anybody would be interested in a 24-year-old rusty-arched, no rear suspension Renault Mégane, even if it is quite a rare saloon model. What else was the third option? Oh yeah, the least desirable was to scrap it. So I put those options up, asked Twitter what they thought, because it was probably the easiest way, bearing in mind I didn't have YouTube community posts at that time, which I now do, so obviously, yay. There's a lot of umming and ahhing in this video, but I'm not really great at doing one-to-ones on camera, so please forgive that. But yeah, basically with that, the overwhelming majority of responses regarding that was to put it into storage until I either figure out what to do with it or repair it. And I think overall there's only about 2 or 3 responses that said scrap it, just forget about it, it's not worth the hassle, which, you know, fair enough. I asked Twitter for opinions, everybody's got their own, but the overwhelming majority were just keep it, store it until you figure out what to do with it, basically. But still, even now, it's a thought of, is it really worth the hassle, the time, the money that's going to be worth going into it to obviously fix it up properly? Would I be better off spending the money on doing some things to the Mini or to the Caravan or to the Fiat, or potentially even buying a new project which was a lot less hassle to work on and required a lot less work, obviously? But yeah, I don't think buying a project would have been the same. Also, I don't think I'd have liked to have gotten rid of one and then just suddenly gone into another. So the project was realistically out for this year anyway. But yeah, I think this video's gone on with this section long enough. So I think what we should do is just go right to what I've decided to actually do with the Renault. You thought you were never going to see it again, and I thought exactly the same. But look, here it is, and look at this. We have storage. Okay, it's maybe not the best, because I would honestly have much preferred it to have been indoors, but in this case beggars can't be choosers. It was either put it here or the scrapyard in the sky. And it's here. I'm so happy about this, actually. Words cannot describe my joy. But the axle or torsion bar suspension on this is still very much broken with the splines. The arches are just as rusty as ever. And the plan for today with it is just to leave it as is with battery and everything connected, because this has been so rushed to even get it here that I haven't had time to get anything to properly set it up for storage. So the plan is maybe get some tyre cushions, cover, obviously disconnect the battery and everything else, take that home with me next time I come up, and everything else. But yes, we have acquired some storage for it, and as much as I was in a dilemma a couple of weeks ago about what to do with it, hence why I took the badge off for sentimental reasons. Same with the little Liberté ones. Fingers crossed down here, it should be pretty safe until later on in the year when we can actually get to work in repairing this, fingers crossed. I say I hope. We're still not out of the woods yet with it. There is still very much the potential for things to go massively, massively wrong. But if they do, then I guess at least we've tried. That's all I can say. I'd prefer to try and keep this car well, alive, I guess, as much as mechanically possible, because well, it's rare. As I mentioned before, there was only 2 legally on the road. Last time I checked how many left. It'll still say it because it hasn't updated yet, but now there's probably only 1, and it's not this one, because this one is sawn and it's at the storage unit here, in which location I'm obviously not going to reveal for security purposes. But then again, if somebody was to try and steal a Renault Mégane saloon with broken rear suspension, then good luck to them. In a way, it's actually better being on concrete. This was basically the best option that I could have got for it, because with mum and dad at home having certain projects with land that they've got, and there's not really any room at home for it at the minute, and possibly not in the future. So yeah, when I move out one day, hopefully, maybe, whenever that might be, maybe if I stop buying Netflix or whatever the commotion was about location star, that's probably taken out of context because mainstream media. But look, it's here, and I think that's probably the best thing we could possibly have done. I really didn't want to scrap this, really didn't, hence why it's here. And look, the Renault's not even alone. It has a French friend, the Peugeot 205 XLD diesel. 80s and 90s clattering ensues. F-Reg, tiny 3-door. Love these things. Love the one I reviewed back in June, July last year it was, I think, August possibly. That was a long time ago now, I can't remember. But I adored that one. That was owned by David, who's kept it in amazing condition. This one, opposite end of the scale, should we say. But still a very nice little car. That would make a good car for someone. Back to the Renault then. Final thoughts on it. Honestly, I'm still not sure this is the right move. Quite honestly, I don't know whether scrapping it would be best or not. But right now, I at least want to try and get it back to a state of running order. I know exactly what's wrong with it. I know what is needed to repair it. It's just a case of doing it. And I honestly don't think that's going to be much before September, October, even possibly November or December of this year. So 2022 for this is a complete write-off. I'll be going to any events in this year, which is kind of sad because I really wanted to, but never mind, that's the way the cookie crumbles. The events that I did go to last year that I did take this to, there wasn't really any of them which required it. I could have gone in the Mini or the Fiat, depending on what I felt like at the time. So for now, we can just sit here, relax, I guess enjoy a bit of retirement, and then we'll pick up on it in September, October, November, December, whenever things maybe start to move on it. We shall see. Anyway, I hope this has been somewhat enjoyable. It's been a bit of a different experience. I know there hasn't really been any movement of this. It's just literally parked here, but needs must and all that. It's here. I'm happy. I'm still questioning my choices, to be perfectly honest, but we can only see what happens in the future. But yes, thank you for watching this video and sticking with the project renovation series. Hopefully there's more on that to come in many months time. And of course, don't forget to like the video if you have enjoyed it, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Anyway, till the next video, farewell.